Okay, so God of War Ragnarok was obviously the best game to have come out in 2022, aside from Elden Ring, which also came out this past year. And honestly, it's hard to believe that God of War Ragnarok has sold as much as it did within a short period of time. Because last time I checked, the game managed to reach at least 11 million in sales, and I believe the God of War game for the PS4 in 2018 that did like 23 million or something like that. And honestly, it's almost like this game has the potential to even to reach that or to at least break 20 mil before the end of 2023. But at the same time, I mean, you look at the game, you look at the gameplay, mechanics, the side quests, the storytelling, the dialogue, all that stuff. I mean, it's like a masterpiece. It's like with the game, it's like you could do what you want in terms of like trying to like progress through the game. Like you have multiple gameplay options in terms of how you want to complete it. Like there are like multiple like settings where you want. I guess it's more like you have settings where it's like some like one is more story driven, one is like a mix between story driven and action based, and there's like I guess a setting that's primarily action based and it's not as story driven. There's multiple settings you can play the game on, and also the game itself is not. It's not as difficult as people would expect it to be, in the sense where in some ways it's beginner friendly, because when it comes down to solving puzzles and doing stuff like that, you get a lot of hints and stuff like that to kind of walk you through and navigate you through what you need to do. And some people see that as a bad thing, but the thing is, if a certain video game is too difficult for individuals to figure out, especially if they're not following the series or they're just new to the series, then that's something that could be a bad thing that could eventually repel people. But yeah, God of War Ragnarok, honestly, it looks like a movie with like gameplay like mixed into it. And honestly, I think that like the God of War series now has reached a point of popularity where it pretty much transcends like the realm of gaming. I feel like this is something that Sony should eventually make a movie for, whether it be the events of God of War 2018 or the events of this game, God of War Ragnarok. Like the story is artful, and if you just take the cutscenes of this game and the 2018 game, that makes a movie in of itself. But I'm talking about like a legit film. I'd be curious to see how an actual like movie of God of War would be, even if it's like a standalone, movie or what have you. I'd be interested to see how well it does in box office sales, because it seems like a lot of video game companies and a lot of I guess businesses that I guess produce movies, it seems like they're more interested in gaming in this day and age, because you see I guess animes or Netflix exclusives that's been coming out for various video games as of late, whether it be Castlevania, whether it be Sonic, whether it be Cyberpunk. It's like you're seeing all that stuff on like Netflix nowadays. And then we just got the Mario movie, which came out not too long ago, and it has the potential to be one of the greatest video game movies of all time. And I do feel that at some point, if not this decade, somewhere later down the line, I feel like at some point the God of War series is going to be on the big screen, because it'd be absolutely insanity for it not to have a movie. And honestly, like you look at like Gran Turismo, that's one of Sony's most popular video game franchises. It's supposed to be having a movie that's supposed to come out later this year, and the fact that Gran Turismo is getting a movie before anything within the God of War series is just baffling. But at the same time, it makes perfect sense, because Gran Turismo has been around since the late 90s. But the thing about the Gran Turismo series is that there's really been no central plot. It's just been real life simulation and I guess competition against, AI controlled opponents. But, it is what it is. And I do feel that like this game definitely is a gem. It's definitely going to go down as one of the best video games of the 2020s decade, at least as it relates to the action adventure genre. And and yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised if God of War Ragnarok ended up surpassing the 2018 game, but we're just gonna have to wait and see how much the game sells between now and the start of 2014. It won't surprise me if it breaks 20 million, but I'm still somewhat skeptical about that. It's definitely going to be one of the best selling like PlayStation 5 games of all time because the numbers were unreal. Because I believe like within the first couple of weeks or so, Ragnarok broke like 5.1 million in terms of sales, and honestly, it had one of the best, I guess, releases of 2022. And everybody knows 2022 was just a underwhelming year in general for video game releases and for gaming in general. But yeah, I do feel that God of War Ragnarok is one that a lot of people are going to look back 10 years from now and say that the game is a masterpiece, and I do feel that its popularity is going to hold up years from now, even like by the time like Sony releases the PlayStation 6 console.